ukiwa mzito. Kila hatua ilikuwa ndefu kama mlima usioisha, lakini niliokota nguvu pale nilipoanguka. Nikaweka jina langu juu ya kidonda. Nilikosa sauti, nikameza kilio, nikabeba siku hizi kama jiwe kifuani. Lakini bado nipo, bado na hema, bado naona mwanga ukinipitia. Pole pole najisogeza mbele, pole pole najijenga tena. Usiku huu si wa mwisho, moyo wangu bado unajua kuota. Machozi yanatiririka, lakini naendelea. Machozi yanatiririka, naendelea. Najifuta leo, nainuka tena. Kesho ni mpya, naanza tena. Machozi yanatiririka, lakini naendelea. Machozi yanatiririka, naendelea. Nafungua njia yangu. Nilidondoka chini, dunia ikanyamaza. Watu wakapita, nikabaki na kivuli. Lakini ndani yangu kuna cheche ndogo, haiwezi kuzima na upepo wote. Nilijifunza kusimama bila kushika mkono, kusikia moyo kinambia usikate tamaa. Kila kovu langu ni ushuhuda kwamba maumivu haya yakunimaliza. Machozi yanatiririka, kimya usiku wa giza. Nalia moyoni pole, nikijificha na maumivu haya. Lakini najinyanyua, najifuta machozi yangu. Kesho ni mpya tena, naanza safari yangu. Nilidondoka chini, dunia ikanikataa. Lakini ndani yangu kuna moto hauzimiki. Ninainuka juu, napaka matai angani. Kwa tumaini jipya, nitaangaza gizani. Machozi yanatiririka, lakini naendelea. Machozi yanatiririka, naendelea. Najifuta leo, nainuka tena. Kesho ni mpya, naanza tena. Machozi yanatiririka, lakini naendelea. Machozi yanatiririka, naendelea. Nafungua njia yangu. Nainuka juu.
Yes, Hujambo. Welcome to our Swahili classes for the weekend. I do hope that you're doing wonderful. And I'm just sharing with us some music. The name of the song is Machozi. And it is done by the one and only Trinity. If you're looking to learn Swahili better and make your journey easier, then I always urge us to check into Swahili music. And even some of the songs that have subtitles, those are actually very, very important. And they can help you a great deal when it comes to learning Swahili, or when it comes to helping you improve your Swahili. It is very, very important that you get to check out some of that Swahili music. It is available on YouTube and also other different resources. For example, the Duolingo app, which is also available on Play Store. It can help you better, or it can help you improve your learning of Swahili, and also to get better with that. This is Swahili class for Sunday. And each and every Saturday and Sunday, we get to connect right here on the platform. The goal is to learn Swahili together and also to keep it interactive as well as engaging. And therefore, if you do feel that you have a question at any point, or you do feel that you want to interject at any point and raise an issue, then you are always free to do so. And you can ask a question, you can make a comment, an observation, whatever you might feel. It is important that you know that the floor is open for you, and therefore you are welcome to interact with us, and you are also welcome to maybe ask a question and keep it engaging and interactive. Yesterday, we embarked on learning Swahili verbs, Swahili verb tenses, and that is what we shall be focusing on for today. Therefore, let me share my screen here with you so that you can see what we are talking about. We are talking about the Swahili verb tenses and how we get to explain them. Remember, when you talk about tenses, we have the three tenses. We have the past, the present, and also the future. And therefore, even in Swahili, we have to make the understanding, we have to highlight that particular matter. Because the way you do say, for example, eat, the way we do say eat, for example, the way we say eat, if you're talking about eating in the future, you would say, for example, I will eat, you would say ni takula. You would say ni takula. That is how you would say it. But if you're talking about maybe, let me see if I'm able to share this. Okay, yes, I'm able to share it. But I'm saying our focus for today is Swahili verb tenses. And the lesson summarizes Swahili verb tenses and conjugations. And this particular segment also outlines the prefixes, the suffixes, and also the infixes that are used when it comes to that. For some reason, I'm trying to share my screen and it has a problem. Let me try once again. Okay, let me try once again. So if you're talking about the present continuous tense, for the present continuous tense, we do have na. The syllable na is a tense marker for the present continuous. For example, if someone is talking about reading, for reading, you do say soma, S-O-M-A. That is a verb for reading. You would say soma. So therefore, if I am reading, and this is a present continuous, I'm doing it right now, I would say ni, that points to self. The syllable ni points to I. It is a pronoun. It represents the pronoun I. You say ni, and then you would say na soma, ni na soma. So the ni points to I. The na is a tense marker for the present continuous, na, and then the root verb is soma. Therefore, you would say ni na soma, ni na soma. If you're talking about this example, for example, this example that we are given here on the very first column, it is ni napiga, ni napiga. Ni napiga means I am beating. I am beating. So the syllable ni, it points to self, it represents I. And then we do have na. Na is a tense marker for the present continuous. So therefore you say ni, na, and then the root verb is piga. Piga means to beat. So therefore you would say ni napiga, ni napiga. If you're talking about maybe perhaps lala, lala is a root verb for sing. When you're talking about sleeping, you normally do say lala, L-A-L-A. So therefore, if someone is sleeping, and for example, I myself, I am sleeping, I would say ni na lala, ni na lala, which means I am sleeping, I am sleeping. If you're talking about eating, to eat, the root verb is kula, K-U-L-A. So therefore, you would say ni nakula, ni nakula, that is I am eating. So if you're talking about eating some food, you would say ninakula chakula kitamu. That is a sentence to mean I am eating some delicious food. I am eating some delicious food. If you're talking about writing, write, the verb for writing, and you're doing it right now, the verb for writing is andika, andika. So therefore, if I am writing, I would say ni na andika, ni na andika, which means I am writing, I am writing. For example, if you're writing a short story, if I'm writing a short story, I would say ninaandika hadithi fupi. Hadithi fupi is a short story. I am writing a short story. Therefore, you would say ninaandika hadithi fupi. If you're talking about writing a poem is known as shairi in Swahili. So therefore, you would say ninaandika shairi. Ninaandika shairi, which means I am writing a poem. I am writing a poem. It is not difficult. The tense marker for the present continuous happens to be na. So therefore you would say ni naandika, ni nakula, ni nalala, ni naimba, which means you're singing. For example, if I'm singing, I would say ni naimba. But if I'm talking about the second person singular, I would say u na kula. So the vowel u is used to represent the second person singular, you. So therefore I would say u nakula for you are eating. I would also say u nasoma for you are reading. I would say u nakula for you are eating. And that is exactly how you get to share and elaborate on that. And the tense marker is na for the present continuous. It means the action is happening right now, and it is continuing, and therefore you would say it as that. If you're talking about the future, you would use the tense marker ta. The tense marker is syllable ta. For example, I will eat. You would say ni ta kula, nitakula. Nitakula is I will eat. But if you're talking about we will eat, you would say tu ta kula, because the ta is a tense marker for the future. If you're talking about something maybe perhaps like a read, you would say I will read the newspaper. I will read. Therefore, that would be ni ta soma, nitasoma, which is I will read in the future. I will read in the future. If you're talking about sing and you will sing, maybe perhaps you're a musician, you are an artist, and you're talking about you will sing, you therefore say ni ta imba. Ni ta imba, which simply means I will sing. I will sing, and that is ni ta imba. If you're talking about sleeping, we did say that the verb for sleep is lala. So therefore, if you're talking about I will sleep, you would say ni ta lala. Ni ta lala. Ni ta lala. And that is the way you would say it. But if you're talking about maybe, remember that the syllable ni is for I, for the first person. But if you're talking about we do say this, the syllable that you use is tu. Therefore, you say tu takula means we shall eat. So for the first person plural, you would say we. So therefore, you say tu ta kula for we shall eat. Tu ta kula for we shall eat. If you're talking about sing, you would say we shall sing, and that would be tu, and then the tense marker ta, and then imba, tu ta imba, which means we shall sing. We shall sing, and it is not difficult. Remember, there are some verbs that we get to mention on the daily. Every other day we get to mention this particular verb. For example, the verb for eat. If you're talking about eat, that is a very, very common one. So therefore, eat, that is kula. We have drink. Drink, we do say kunywa. Drink, we do say kunywa. For sleep. For sleep, we do say lala. For sleep, we do say lala. That is for sleep. For read, we do say soma. Read. We do say soma. For go, if someone is talking about go, you would say enda. And that is a verb to leave. Enda means to leave or go. It means to leave. It means to leave or go. Leave. There's a verb for come, which is njo or kuja. Njo, that is for come. If you're talking about the act of arriving, you would say wasili. That is to arrive. For someone who is leaving, we do say ondoka. Ondoka means leave. Ondoka, depart. Ondoka means depart or leave. Means depart or leave. Depart or leave. If you're talking about listen, the act of listening, You would say sikiza, sikiza, listen. Iza, sikiza, sikiza. The act of sitting down, we do say keti, which is a verb, which is keti, for sit. If it is an act of standing up, we do say simama, for standing. We do say simama. We do say simama for standing up, for standing. Simama is for standing. If you're talking about maybe jumping, you would say ruka. Ruka is for jump. Ruka is for jump. Jump. The act of being happy or joyed, you will say furahia. 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 To enjoy. Enjoy. So that is a verb. So all these particular verbs that we are saying, they can actually be put in the present tense, they might be put in the future tense, they might be put in the past tense. But you have said it is very also important to realize that we do have the pronouns, or these are words that represents the nouns. For example, I am the first person singular, I would say ni. So if I'm talking about I am ni na kunywa, I am drinking. For example, I might say I am drinking some milk. I would say ni nakunywa maziwa. Ni nakunywa maziwa. If I'm talking about another verb, which is sleep, and I'm talking about the verb in the present continuous, the root verb is lala. So if I'm talking about I am sleeping, therefore I would say ni na lala. Ni na lala. Ni na lala, which means I am sleeping. If you're talking about to rest, resting, we do say pomzika. For rest, we do say pomzika. Pumzia, pomzika. That is for rest. I do hope that maybe perhaps on Sunday also you're resting up. So therefore you would say ni, I myself, ni, and then na is the tense marker, na is the tense marker, and then pomzika. And therefore that would be ni na pomzika. Ni na pomzika, which means I am resting. I am resting. If I'm talking about maybe I am traveling, to travel, you would say tembea. To travel means to travel, to visit. Travel or visit. So therefore, if I am traveling, I would say ni na tembea. Ninatembea mjini. For example, I'm traveling to the city, then I would say ninatembea mjini, and it's understood to be I am, visiting the city, or I'm touring the city. That is exactly how you would say, because tembea is to travel, or to visit, or to tour. That is the way you would say. For example, if someone says karibu sana tembea Africa, then I mean you're much welcome, come and visit Africa. That is exactly what they would mean. But now we are giving examples of Swahili verbs and the tenses, and that is why we are saying that for the tense marker for the present continuous, we do so that is na. The tense marker for the future, we do say ta. So therefore, if someone says I will visit or I will travel, therefore I would say ni ta is the tense marker for the future, and then tembea, nitatembea. Nitatembea simply means I will visit or I will travel. That is exactly how you get to say it, and it is not difficult. I always do say that the more you practice, the better you become with the language, because if you're able to connect with people, as you travel, as you connect and as you communicate directly with them, then you are much better. You have a very, very big advantage if you are able to just connect with the people and in their own language. It is very, very important. So it is not difficult. With time, if you commit yourself to learning, I do believe that with time, you would be able to get very, very, very better at the language, and you can also be able to use it as a language of commerce. For example, in Tanzania, if you're buying something from the market, or if you're trying to even trade anything, then you will be trading it in the language of Swahili. And therefore, we do believe that it is very, very important that you are able to communicate, even with the basic. You don't have to be like a super pro and with that, but you are at least able to get yourself, to introduce yourself, to say what you want, to give feedback, and have those simple dialogues or conversations in Swahili. And you can be able to do that by simply learning here with us, and getting better with practicing, because you have to practice, and we do say practice makes perfect. That is what we do believe right here on this particular platform. So we shall take a short break, enjoy some more music, and this time, let me see what jam will play you. This is a jam known as Tangu Zamani. It means since a long time ago. That is what it means when you say Tangu Zamani. But you shall enjoy the song, and then we shall be right back, and we shall continue our learning of the verbs and the tenses in Swahili, because I do believe personally that it is very, very important that you are able to understand even the tenses so that you don't get your Swahili mixed up.
Nilikukuta pale, moyo ukasema, hata bila sauti najua ni wewe. Ukiangalia mimi, dunia inacheza, kila tabasamu lako linanifanya niongee. Ulivyo una nuru ya ndani na mimi nikakwama, nikakupenda ghafla. Moyo ulijua kabla ya macho, kuna mahali petu pa milele kabisa. Tangu siku ile sijaweza kusahau, kila nikifunga macho na kuwaza tu you and me. Ni wazi kabisa Mungu alituchora kwa sababu moja. Nilikupenda tangu zamani, mahaba yangu kwako ni ya thamani. Vile ulivyo Mungu katuumba tuwe pamoja, tangu zamani, tangu zamani. Nilikupenda tangu zamani, you're the one, my love, my darling. Vile ulivyo Mungu katuumba tuwe pamoja, tangu zamani, tangu zamani. Ukinishika mkono naona kesho, kama barua nzuri iliyoandikwa pole. Sio leo tu, ni safari ya roho, tulivyopangwa sote, si bahati ya mchezo. Naomba utabaki, usiniache nione kila siku mpya. Ni wewe na mimi, nitajenga nyumba ndani ya moyo wako, tukiwa pamoja everything feels right. Tangu siku ile sijaweza kusahau, kila nikifunga macho na kuwaza tu you and me. Ni wazi kabisa Mungu alituchora kwa sababu moja. Nilikupenda tangu zamani, mahaba yangu kwako ni ya thamani. Vile ulivyo Mungu katuumba tuwe pamoja, tangu zamani, tangu zamani. Nilikupenda tangu zamani, you're the one, my love, my darling. Vile ulivyo Mungu katuumba tuwe pamoja, tangu zamani, tangu zamani. Hata dunia ikibadilika, moyo wangu bado utakuita. Sio ndoto, ni kweli ndani, wewe meant to stay. Nilikupenda tangu zamani, tangu zamani, tangu zamani. Nilikupenda tangu zamani, mahaba yangu kwako ni ya thamani. Vile ulivyo Mungu katuumba tuwe pamoja, tangu zamani, tangu zamani. Nilikupenda tangu zamani, you're the one, my love, my darling. Vile ulivyo Mungu katuumba tuwe pamoja, tangu zamani, tangu zamani.
Yes, that is a wonderful, wonderful song, and the name of the song is Tangu Zamani, and it is done by the one and only Trinity. And like I did say earlier on, Tangu Zamani simply means from way before, from a long time ago, and that is the interpretation of that particular one. Today we are learning about Swahili verb tenses, and that is just a continuation of our learning of our Swahili grammar. And it is very important to understand that we have the tense markers, and the tense markers are used as a prefix for the verb. They come before the verb. For example, la means to sleep. So if you're talking about I will sleep, you would say nitalala. And the ta is a tense marker for the future. If you are talking about the past tense, for the past tense, the tense marker for the past tense happens to be li, L-I, the syllable li. And therefore, if you're talking about you slept, then you would say ulilala. If I'm talking about myself and I'm saying that I slept, then that would be ni lilala. If I'm talking about I rested, I've said that the word for rest or the verb for rest, you simply do say pumzika. And therefore, if you're talking about I rested on a Sunday, you would say nilipumzika siku ya Jumapili, nilipumzika siku ya Jumapili. That simply means I rested on a Sunday. I rested on a Sunday. If you're saying that you traveled, you have said that travel is tembea. And therefore, if someone is saying, I traveled on a Sunday, then that would be nilitembea siku ya Jumapili. Nilitembea siku ya Jumapili, and that simply means I traveled on a Sunday. Remember, we have the 7 days of the week. If you try and talk about Sunday, you do say Jumapili for Sunday. Like, for example, today is Jumapili. Jumapili for Sunday. Jumapili for Sunday. If you're talking about Monday, you would say Jumatatu. Jumatatu is on a Monday. On a Tuesday, you say Jumanne. On a Tuesday. Jumatano on a Wednesday. So you say Jumatano on a Wednesday. Jumatano on a Wednesday. You would say Jumatano on a Wednesday. And then you would say Alhamisi for a Thursday. Alhamisi for a Thursday. Alhamisi for a Thursday. That is for Thursday. Alhamisi. And when you're talking about a Friday, you would say Ijumaa. Ijumaa. That is on a Friday. So it is also very, very important that you also, because when you're talking about tenses, and maybe you have to be specific about the day that you're talking about, then you'd also have to put into consideration the knowledge of those particular day. If you're talking about today you do say Leo, like the stars are in Leo, but it's Leo for today. If you're talking about tomorrow, you do say kesho for tomorrow. And if you're talking about yesterday, you would say jana, Jana, for yesterday. And these are important when it comes to our understanding of the verbs and the tenses, because for yesterday we do say jana, and jana, the tense marker would be li. Jana, the tense marker would be li, L-I. You would say nilikula chakula kitamu jana. That would be yesterday. I enjoyed some delicious food. Nilikula chakula kitamu jana. If you're talking about the present, today, ninasafiri leo, then that would be I am traveling today. That would be ninasafiri leo. That would be I am traveling today. And it is not any difficult. It is quite easy to understand. You just need to remember that the tense marker for the present is na. The tense marker for the past is li. And the tense marker for the future is ta. Those three are very, very important. So I'm talking about ta, li, and then you have ta, then you have na. These are the three tense markers, and therefore you have to keep on reminding yourself that if you're talking about the past is li. that will be nilisoma, then that will be I read, nilisoma. If I'm talking about I will read the future, you would say nitasoma. If you're talking about the present continuous, the present tense, you would say ni nasoma, ni nasoma. And that is the way you get to distinguish between those three things. So the verb is soma. If the verb is soma, which means to read, it means to read. So therefore, if you're using these three tenses, you would say nilisoma. Nilisoma is the past. Nitasoma is the future. And ninasoma is the present. Ninasoma is the present. It shows that you are doing the action right now. You are doing the action right now. And therefore, it is very, very important that we get to distinguish these three. And, it will help us in our understanding or in our knowledge of this beautiful language of Swahili. Does anyone have a question at that particular point? If anyone has a question, please ask. I will be more than glad to share with you the answer. I will be more than glad to share with you the answer for that. If anyone has a question, please ask. If not, let me share with us. If not, let me share with us the notes, because there are also other tense. There are also other tenses. Let me share these with us, because there are also other tenses, so that you can see what we are talking about. There is one that shows the habitual. For example, I eat. What you do represent that with the habitual is the syllable hu. Mimi hukula chakula kitamu. Mimi hukula chakula kitamu. This is neither in the past. This is something habitual, and this is something that I habitually do. So therefore, mimi hukula chakula kitamu, then that would be I eat delicious food. Or you might say mimi hukunywa maji baridi, then that would be hukunywa. Hukunywa means I do drink cold water. So if you're talking about the habitual, then you would say hukunywa. If you're talking about I do sing. Habitually I do sing, maybe perhaps Afrobeat or R&B music. You'd say mimi huimba, which shows that this is something that is done habitually. It's something that is done, very, very once, very often, and it is done habitually, and therefore you would say mimi huimba, mimi hukula, mimi hupika. If you are a good cook and you're just trying to blow your trumpet all your own, then you would say I do cook delicious food. Mimi hupika chakula kitamu. Mimi hupika chakula kitamu, which is I do cook very delicious food. Chakula kitamu sana. That is how you would say. But if you're talking about the future, but now this is the future conditional. No, this is conditional future. Then the syllable that you get to use is nge. For example, ni ningepika. Now you're cook, but you're saying I would cook. I would cook delicious food. You therefore say ningepika chakula kitamu. If you would say I would read, you would say ni ngesoma kitabu kizuri, then that would be I would read a good book. If you're talking about sleep, you would say I would sleep. Therefore say ningelala mapema kama ningekuwa na mipango ya kusafiri kesho. Ningelala. So that shows that the syllable nge, it is used to show the future conditional or the conditional future, which is you would this and that, or I would this and that. For example, maybe you're saying tungesoma kitabu kizuri. Tungesoma, it's we would read. Nge, because the nge there is a conditional future. The nge is a conditional future. and therefore you're saying tu ngesoma, then that would be we would read, we would read. Or tu ngekula, then that would be we would actually read. Afternoon, Spikes, just getting home from playing football. Our listener while quality and ask my niece. It's all good, General Mosquito. I'm happy that you have joined us, and I do know that it's too early. I'm wondering you went to play football too early, but it's all good. I hope that you recover, and you can use, like, we have, what is this, like the deep heat. I don't know if you have deep heat there, or rather they stock it where you just spray it on your knees, and then the deep heat might make you feel a bit much better. I don't know if they stock it there or if it's just here, but there's that spray that is known as deep heat that would help you get better. But yes, we are saying about the future conditional, If, for example, you're saying you would tour or you would visit, you'd say ni ge safiri, ningesafiri. So if you say ningesafiri, ni ngesafiri, so that ngesafiri, then that would mean I would tour. I would tour. Ningesafiri, that would be I would tour. And you're talking about the future, but now this is the future conditional. It is a future conditional. And I would too, or maybe perhaps you're talking about your visa, and you're not sure whether your visa would have been processed or something. Then you would say ningesafiri wiki ijayo kama means if. So the future conditional, it has some conditions, but that if these conditions are fulfilled, then you can go ahead with whatever you're just saying. You can go ahead with whatever you just saying you would. So therefore ningesafiri kama visa ingetolewa, which is if the visa was produced or processed, then I would travel. That is exactly what we are talking about when we do say about the future conditional. But the future that is not conditional, you would say nitasafiri. Nitasafiri means that you are very assured and that you're 100% that you will travel. So therefore you say ni tasafiri means I will travel. I will travel. But if it is a future conditional that you're not really quite sure, you say ni ngesafiri, which means that you would travel, but there is some condition that has to be met for you to be able to travel. And maybe perhaps that is what you are not quite sure about. You're not quite sure about that particular one. And therefore, if it's a future conditional, then you would say ni ngesafiri. But remember, because we are talking about the habitual you do say who. You do use the syllable who. You do say mimi husafiri usiku. Mimi husafiri usiku. Then that means I do travel at night. So the who shows that it's a habitual thing, a tense that is done habitually, or a thing that is done habitually, a verb that is done habitually. For example, you say mimi husafiri usiku. It means I travel at night. If you're talking about mimi hukula chakula kitamu, then I do eat food that is sweet, delicious. If you're talking about mimi husoma vitabu vingi, then that means I do read many books. And that is the habitual. So for the habitual, you have said that you use this, the syllable who. For the future conditional future, we do use the syllable ge. And if you're talking about expeditious, then you would use ka. You would use ka. For example, nikapiga, nikakula, nikaketi, nikarudi. You would use ka. You would use ka in that regard. For the past continuous, if you're talking about the past continuous, then you would say nilikuwa napiga, nilikuwa nikipiga, nilikuwa nikikula. That is a present continuous. Nilikuwa nikikula. So nilikuwa shows that it was in the past. It was in the past, but it was happening. It was, an action that was continuous. So for example, nilikuwa nikikula chakula kitamu, then that would be I was eating delicious food. That is exactly how you would say nilikuwa nikikula chakula kitamu. That would be I was eating a delicious meal. I will share with you these particular notes on the comment box, so that if you want to refer to these notes, then you can, and they are available on our script.com, and you can be able to look into these tenses in a much easier or in a much better way, simply because, like I have said, we have the present continuous. The present continuous is represented by the tense marker ta. The future is represented by the tense marker. Sorry, the present continuous is represented by tense marker na. The future is represented by ta, and the past is simply represented by li. But if it's habitual, you would say who. Hu, then that would be mimi husafiri usiku. Who, the who there represents something that is habitual. Mimi husoma gazeti, then that will be I do read the newspaper, but it is habitual. Mimi husoma gazeti, that will be I do read the newspaper, and it is habitual, and that is just the way you would put it in that regard. If anyone has a question, please ask a question. I'm always happy to respond to a question. If not, we shall enjoy some music. We have a song. I'll take a bit of a break. Enjoy some music here. And the name of this jam is Tabasamu Lako. Let me know what you feel about this particular one. If it's jamming or not.
Jua la asubuhi, kila unapotabasamu dunia nilikona tu, moyo ukasema wewe ndiye jua la asubuhi, kila unapotabasamu dunia inacheza na kifua changu kinapata amani. Macho yako yananita taratibu, nikamwambia moyo leo kahapa. Usinifichie lile tabasamu lako, linaniinua juu, moyo wangu unacheza, ukinitazama tu. Nikikuona tu nafurahi sana. Tabasamu lako baby, tabasamu lako. Ukimcheka maua ufunguka, na harufu ya mapenzi inarudi. Mikono yangu utaka kukushika, tusitembe pole pole pamoja. Kila siku nawe ni sherehe, na kila dakika inakuwa tamu. Usinifichie lile tabasamu lako, linaniinua juu, moyo wangu unacheza, ukinitazama tu. Ninayeyuka baby, tabasamu lako, tabasamu lako linawasha moyo wangu. Tabasamu lako, tabasamu lako ni zawadi ya furaha. Nikikuona tu nafurahi sana. Tabasamu lako baby, tabasamu lako. Leo tuko pamoja, mikono imeshikana, na ndoto zetu zimevaa rangi. Nikikuangalia nahisi kesho itakuwa nzuri zaidi. Endelea kunichekea, nisahau dunia. Tabasamu lako, tabasamu lako linawasha moyo wangu. Tabasamu lako, tabasamu lako ni zawadi ya
Yes, and that is a wonderful song. Tabasamu simply means a smile, and therefore the lady is talking about the smile of her beloved one. And when we talk about tabasamu is simply it is a smile. If someone says tabasamu lako nzuri, they mean that you have a beautiful or a wonderful smile. Welcome back to class. This is a Sunday Saudi class for the weekend, and being on the 21st of June. This is also the Father's Day. So for all the fathers on the Blackhotfire network, we want to appreciate you, and we would say asante sana kwa baba wote. Baba means father or dad. Baba simply means father or dad. So therefore we do say that we appreciate you. We tunawashukuru, which is appreciating all the fathers right here on this particular wonderful platform, the Blackhotfire. Remember, we have the official network website is www.blackhotfirenetwork.com. In case you haven't checked that out, please make sure you do so. On the network, you'll find a whole lot of resources. We have the USA news, we have the business and economy, we have the entertainment news, international sports. We have science and technology on the platform as well. We also do have the African and Kenya news in terms of entertainment, opinion, politics, sports, technology, and also the health and eco news that you can find on there. We also do have the radio, the online radio. So if you're trying to listen to the radio, you just click on this button here. And you can enjoy all the music that you want 24 hours. 24 hours. Just click on listen to the live radio or tap on tap to listen. You just tap on this icon, and you can be able to listen to the music even if you are on the go. We have the featured blogs on the network, so in case you want to check out some of what is happening, what has been featured, we have the featured blogs. We also do have the Blackhotfire Network Sports Store. You can buy some supplements and nutritional products on there as well, and it will be it will be delivered straight to your doorstep. For the vitamins, the minerals, we do have the proteins and blends, the amino acids and blends, the beauty supplements, the food and beverages. They are also there, the natural extracts. We do have all of that on the platform. The special supplements, we have even the soaps right here, and there's an amazing range of products that you can find, even the multivitamin beer gummies, as well as the vitamins, the green superfoods, the complete multivitamin. There is a whole lot of wonderful products. The beef oil powder, the Saga Micro Biome Wellness Powder. A whole lot of wonderful products are on here. You can patronize the network, and if you do purchase, then these will actually be delivered to wherever you want them delivered at your private personal address, and that would also be a good look. If you want to support the network and donate, you can just click on this tab, the donate tab. It will help you donate or support the network. You can support the network with whatever amount, whatever amount that you feel comfortable with. You can be able to do so with $5, $10, $25, $30, $50, $100, or you can even put any custom amount on there, and then you will fill up your details, whether be it PayPal or whether be it the credit card info, and then from there, that would help you be able to support the network. We truly value and appreciate everyone's support. We never take your company for granted. We really appreciate, for those that have supported the network, your support is not in vain to the network. It goes to helping keep the lights on right here with the studio in Nairobi, and also with the other studio with Keith in Miami, Florida. That is what it is. So welcome back to the class, and we are learning about the verbs and the tenses. The verbs and the tenses, that is our special focus for today. And we were just saying that if you're talking about the present continuous, we do say na. For example, ninasomesha Kiswahili, and that would be I am teaching Swahili right now. Ninasomesha Kiswahili, ninafunza Kiswahili. Funza means to teach. Funza means to teach. So we do say ninafunza Kiswahili, it is I, and then ni nafunza. Ninafunza Kiswahili, that would be I am teaching Kiswahili. If we do say ninasoma kitabu, then that would be I am reading a book. If I do say ninaandika kitabu, then I am writing a book. So that is the present continuous, which is na. The action is happening right now and you are continuing. But if that is into the future, then you would say ni tasoma kitabu, which is I will read a book. If you're talking about I will write a paper, I would say nitaandika karatasi. And whatever you do talk about in the future, then that has to be with the ta, the tense marker ta, that shows that you are talking about the future. And it is not even difficult. I always do say that you just keep on practicing and getting better at the language. And once you do practice, eventually you become better at the use of the language of Kiswahili. Even when you're talking about maybe for business or for leisure, all this, it is very, very important that you get to understand that. So for the Swahili verbs, it is very important because its structure is used in everyday composition. Because the structure of the Swahili verb, it is used in everyday composition. The more you practice the subject, the closer you get to mastering the Swahili language. But first, you need to know what is the role of the verb in the structure of the grammar in Swahili. And Swahili verbs are words that convey the action. You know, they do show the action. For example, bring. Bring means letter. Sorry, bring translates into letter. For example, bring me water. Bring me water. Then that would be letter maji. Niletee maji or letter maji. Read is translates into soma. Walk translates into tembea. Run translates into kimbia. Kimbia, you can say kimbia, which is run. Or a state of being or existing or standing. In most languages, a verb may agree with the person, the gender, and all the number of some of the arguments, such as its subject or its object. In Swahili, we have the SVO, and the SVO is the subject, the verb, the object. So we have the subject, the verb, and then the object. For example, mtoto anakula chakula, mtoto anakula chakula, and that is, mtoto is the subject, anakula is the verb, and then chakula is the object. So we have the SVO, which is the order of a sentence, order of a structure in a order of arrangement of a sentence in Swahili. So in Swahili, the verbs take the following prefix, and this is the na to form the present tense. For example, ninaenda shule, which is I am going to school. Anaimba wimbo, which is he or she is singing. Anaandika, which means he or she is writing. So the na is the tense marker for that present tense. We have talked about the infinite verbs. For example, enda, imba, andika. These are the infinite verbs which are used in the above examples. If we are talking about the past tense, once again, in the past tense, in Swahili, as well as in English, the simple past tense, imperfect, is used to describe past events, and the prefix for the past tense is, the prefixes for the past tense is li. For example, alienda, which is he or she went, aliimba, which is he or she sang, aliandika, which is he or she wrote. So just take an irregular verb and add the prefix li. When you add the prefix li, it shows that it happened, or that is a past, that is a tense of the past. And then again, we have talked about the future. We have said that the future is ta, and therefore it is not any difficult for you to be able to remember that. If you're talking about the verbs, and this is in the past, in the past, you would say, for example, I spoke. I spoke. You might say nilinena or niliongea or nilisema. I spoke. If you're talking about I wrote, you would say niliandika. Niliandika, because this is in the past. If you're talking about I drove, you would say niliendesha. Niliendesha gari la baba yangu or niliendesha gari langu. That is how you say it. If you're talking about I loved, you would say nilipenda. Nilipenda. If you're talking about I give, you would say nilitoa or nilipeana. Nilipeana, nilitoa or nilipeana. If you're talking about I smiled, the smile, smiling is tabasamu. For example, in the song I just played you, the song is known as Tabasamu Lako, but also the tabasamu, the smile, the smile in terms of the verb, it is a tabasamu. So you'd say nilitabasamu, which means I smiled. I smiled. If you say I took, then that would be ni lichukua, ni lichukua. And of course, if you're talking about now the second person, the third person, you would say he spoke. aliongea. He wrote, aliandika. He drove, aliendesha. He loved, alipenda. He gave, alipatiana. He smiled, alitabasamu. He took, alichukua, alichukua. That is simply how you would put them, and it is in a simplified, very, very simplified way. It is not any difficult. What you get to realize is that with time, that with practice, you become better with that. If you're talking about the first person plural, the first person plural, it is we. We translates into two. T-U, the syllable two, two. So if you say to we spoke, you would say tuliongea. If you're talking about we wrote, you would say tu liandika, tuliandika. If you're talking about we drove, you would say tuliendesha. If you're talking about we loved, you would say tulipenda. If you give an example of we gave, you would say tulipeana. If you're talking about we smiled, you would say tulitabasamu. And if you're talking about we took, you would say tulichukua, tulichukua. And that is not difficult. You just need to have patience and practice the language. And once you do so, you become much, much better at the language just through practice. Because, like I did say, practice makes perfect. And the more you practice, the easier it is. It becomes ingrained into your mind, and therefore you are able to enjoy learning and speaking in the beautiful language of Swahili. My name is Spikes. I hope that your weekend is coming up just fine. Normally over the weekends, people are busy from point A to point B, doing this and that. Some of them traveling, some of them just connecting with family, some of them just chilling out. So I don't know what you all up to. Zero Mosquito, you're letting us know that you're out playing football. And I don't know how that is going on for you, whether you're part of a team or you're playing with your friends. But it's still good that you stay fit. I was actually just in a post that says any stretch is better than no stretch. Any vegetable is better than no vegetable. So as you live and as exercise is important, and also eating healthy, very, very important. So you do find an opportunity, and you can just practice and stretch and exercise. It is very, very important. And if you also get an opportunity to eat well, the vegetables, make sure that they are not missing on your plate. And we do say that your health is your wealth. In as much as you might have a lot of money or have a lot of wealth, the most important bit of that all is your health, because you will not be able to enjoy anything even if you had all the money and you are sickly on the bed. You're not able to leave the house. You're not able to move around. You're not able to get your work done. Then what good is that? What good is that wealth? Therefore, taking care of yourself, exercising, getting some time over the weekend to exercise, and just keep your fitness or maintain your fitness and exercise, then that is actually the way to go. Every other weekend you get a chance, make sure that you are also on the move and having an opportunity to exercise and keep your body much more fit. This month, the month of June, was also the Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. And apart from being physically fit, it is also important that you are fit even mentally, because things are crazy. The world right now, as things are going on, so many things can actually make you trip. A whole lot of things can make you trip if you look around. But mental health, very, very important. You can read a book, exercise your mental health even through connecting, talking to people. Yeah, even taking a tour, taking a break, taking. There are so many ways in which you can take care of your mental wellness, and you can look into different ways of doing that. One of them is also even socializing and kicking it with the people that matter, and just conversing and speaking things out. Like I did say, also traveling. Traveling is mind opening, and you're also able to rest your mind even when you travel. Although now traveling is also expensive, especially in these days. If you're trying to move from one area, going to another area, traveling is quite expensive. But nonetheless, every other opportunity to get to travel, it's good. Whether you're traveling for work or traveling for leisure, it's good. And it is also important because it helps you keep your mental space clear, and you are able to thrive much better, focus much better, and attain your goals when your mind is clear, or when you have a focused mind, and it is not all not all in tatters. That is the thing. Nonetheless, this is a Swahili class for the weekend, and I'm happy that you're with us, never taking your company for granted, always taking an opportunity to ask if anyone has a question. Does anyone has a question? Kama kuna mtu aliye na swali, tafadhali uliza. If there is anyone that has a question, please make sure that you ask a question so that I can respond to you in regards to those tenses, in regards to those verbs. Because it's a verb of eating, which is kula, the verb of drinking, kunywa, the verb of getting full, kushiba. And I did say that when you also do put the verb, the syllable ku as a prefix for verb, the syllable ku, it shows that the verb is in action. For example, kushiba. Kushiba means to be full. You know, if you have eaten your supper or your breakfast or your lunch and you're full, you will say kushiba. Kushiba is used now to be full. If we're talking about kuiba, kuiba means to like kuimba, it would mean to sing. If you're talking about kukula, it means to eat. If you're talking about kuketi, kulala, kuamka, amka simply is to wake up. So therefore, if you do say kuamka, nataka kuamka mapema kesho, ningependa kuamka mapema kesho. Kuamka means to wake up. Kuamka, it means to wake up, and therefore you would say ningependa kuamka mapema kesho. Maybe perhaps you're traveling and you want to go to work early. You would say ningependa kuamka mapema kesho. Or ningependa kusafiri. If you do say ku before the root verb, shows that the verb in action. Kusafiri, kuamka, kuruka, kuketi, kuinama, kucheka. All those particular things. You know, cheka is laugh. Cheka is laugh. So therefore, if you do say ku, cheka means to laugh. Cheka means to laugh. Then therefore, that to laugh. To laugh. So the ku simply shows that you're talking about the verb in action, and it shows that you are talking about ku cheka, to laugh. That is exactly what you are talking about, and it is not difficult. You just need to practice Swahili with people, practice it with your friends, practice it with your colleagues, and over time you become much better at your learning or your knowledge of this particular beautiful language of Swahili. We shall enjoy a song. It is known as Nisamehe, and there's also another jam which is known as Sinanoma. Sinanoma is also dope, but Sinanoma will get as a copyright strike, so I don't want to get into that. So let me play as a song which is Nisamehe, and this one I know for sure doesn't have a copyright strike. So let me play this, and when you get back, we shall be learning more about these verbs, and also we shall be looking at more examples because it is very important that we get our Swahili verbs right. A verb is anything that action words, you know, to eat, to sip, to sleep, to dance, to write, to read, to do all those things. So therefore, we shall be looking at a list of verbs in Swahili when we get back, and see how they are applied in different contexts in when it comes to, you know, making a sentence and things like that. But for now, let me play as this jam. It's known as Nisamehe, and then we shall get right back and continue with our Swahili class. My name is Spikes. Jina langu ni Spikes, and I'm happy to teach. Nina furaha kufunza. So let's enjoy this song. I'll be right back.
Tulianza na tabasamu, kisha ukimya ukakuwa kati yetu. Nilikusikia, sikusikiliza, mimi nilijibu haraka, moyo ukavunjika. Ulinipa ishara ndogo ndogo, mimi nikapita kama sijasikia. Maneno yakawa kama ukuta, na hisia zako zikawa mbali. Nisamehe, najua nilikosea, shauku la moyo wangu. Kila siku natamani ningeupata msamaha wako, moyo wangu ukapate utulivu, nikureje bila hofu. Nisamehe. sasa nilichelewa kuamka. Nisamehe, moyo wangu unalia. Nisamehe, usiniache peke yangu. Nisamehe, najua nilikosea. Nisamehe, rudi upumzike nami. Nilikosea, sasa nafahamu. Ukosefu wangu ulikuwa mkubwa, sikutilia maanani maneno na hisia zako. Nilipenda kwa pupa, nikachora maumivu nyumbani. Kila ukisema sikiliza, mimi nilisikia kimya. Sasa najua thamani ya sentensi ndogo ya upole, na kila chozi uliloficha limebaki ndani ya kifua. Nisamehe, najua nilikosea. Shauku la moyo wangu, kila siku natamani ningeupata msamaha wako. Moyo wangu ukapate utulivu, nikurete bila hofu. Niseme ukweli sasa, nilichelewa kuamka. Moyo wangu unalia. Usiniache peke yangu. Najua nilikosea. Rudi upumzike nami. Nipe nafasi moja tu nisafishe kilichovunjika. Nitamjenga upya yule aliyekuwa hajui kupenda. Nitasema pole pole, nitasikia hadi mwisho. Ukisema umeshachoka, moyo wangu utaelewa. Moyo wangu unalia. Usiniache peke yangu. Najua nilikosea. Rudi upumzike nami.
That is the jam right there. And the name was jam is Nisamehe, which simply means forgive me. And there's another jam that was about to play known as Sinanoma. Sinanoma is a dope song, but I think it might get us into a copyright problem. So we'll not go that particular way. We shall get back to our classes for the weekend. And I am saying that before we get back to class, it is very, very important that you visit the official network website, which is www.blackhotfirenetwork.com. And once you are on this particular website, please make sure you turn on the notifications with this particular red bell here, the icon here. And also, in case you want to enjoy the music, you can just tap on the live radio. And you will enjoy wonderful, wonderful music on there. So it is very, very important that you check out the www.blackhotfirenetwork.com. And you can also get the app on Play Store. Just need to search for the Blackhotfire app on Play Store. And you will be able to catch that and much, much more using your app on Android. Or yes, actually on Android. You can be able to get a hold of that. You can check out the shows on the network. We do have so many shows. The Blackhotfire Network show, hosted by Keith. We do have the show by Kamlesh. We do have the show by Shmani and the rest of the family here. You can get to catch and see what's going on with that. So it is very, very important. For the news, you can find out what is happening in the world, what is happening with Black American news, what is happening with the other blogs also on the network. So make sure that you take your time and you visit us on www.blackhotfirenetwork.com. We are learning about verbs and tenses. That is our focus for today. And it is very, very important that you get to understand that for the verbs, these are action words. For example, sing, we do say imba. To eat, we do say kula. For sit, we do say keti. For stand, we do say simama. For jump, we do say ruka. For talk, we do say ongea or zungumza. For listen, we do say sikiza. For drink, we do say kunywa. For sleep, we do say lala. But here's a list of verbs in Swahili and a list of the conjugated verbs in the present, in the present, past, and future in Swahili placed in a table so that you can help you get to memorize. So, for example, if you say I can accept that, you say naweza kukubali yale, naweza kukubali yale. She added it, then that would be aliongeza kuwa. And if someone says we admit, it means tunakubali. If someone says they advised him, they would say walimshauri. If someone says I can agree with that, nakubaliana na hayo. If says she allows it, anaruhusu. Say we announce it, tunatangaza, because announce is translated into tangaza. Announce. Someone says we announce, it means tunatangaza. So, but the noun for announcement, it is known as tangazo. If someone says tangazo maalum, they simply mean I have a special announcement. And nina tangazo maalum, ningependa kuwakilisha tangazo maalum. It means that I want to share with you a special announcement. But the act of announcing, we do say tangaza. And if someone says they arranged that, then they would say walipanga hivyo. If someone says we beat it, then they would say tulipiga. So these are some of the verbs when they are used in a sentence. And for example, if it is on these examples, says she appears today, that would be anaonekana leo. Because for today, today we do say leo. For tomorrow, we do say kesho. For yesterday, we do say jana. For yesterday, we would say jana. And that is exactly how we would say, because it is also important that we understand today is leo, tomorrow is kesho, and jana is yesterday. But if you're talking about next week, you would say wiki ijayo. For example, at the end of the class, I would say tutapatana wiki ijayo, majaliwa ya Mungu, which is we shall meet next week, wiki ijayo, and that is next week. But these are some other more examples that we can use to show the verbs and how they are used. If we do say, I can bring it, nitaileta, ninaweza kuileta, or nitaileta. Leta means bring. Leta, it simply translates into bring. If we're talking about begin, you would say anza or anzia. You would say begin, anza, A-N-Z-A, anza. But if we're talking about to build, we do say jenga. If someone says I can build it, means naweza kuijenga. If you're talking about carry your bag, you would say beba mkoba wako, then that would be carry your small bag, beba mkoba wako. If you're talking about choose, then that would be chagua, because in this sentence it is written she chooses him, and that would be yeye humchagua. And those are some of the examples in which you can use. We can also say we close it, sisi huifunga. He comes here, yeye huja hapa. I can compare that, naweza kulinganisha, because compare is linganisha. So someone says I can compare that, it means naweza kuilinganisha. Someone says they continued reading, waliendelea kusoma, because kusoma is a verb for read. kusoma is the verb for read. So if someone says waliendelea kusoma, means that they continue to read. And the verb continue, we have used it many times. We have said endelea. The verb continue, endelea. Let me just put it down. Endelea. Continue. So if someone was saying continue reading, they said endelea kusoma, then they meant continue reading. Remember, the most important part of one of the most important parts of the language is the vowels. So we have the a, e, o, u. Those are the 5 vowels. And one of the examples that I normally get to give so many times is the vowel e, which is the English letter E. For example, in the word endelea. Someone says endelea kusoma, endelea kusoma. It means continue reading, continue to read, or continue reading. Continue reading. If someone is talking about continue eating, they would say endelea kula, kula chakula, kula chakula. It means continue eating the food, continue eating food. Endelea kula chakula. So for the 5 vowels, like I have said, the 5 vowels, we have given so many examples of words that start with the vowels. For example, endelea, that is what I've just given. And if you're talking about maybe another vowel, which is E, the vowel E is the English letter I. So for example, if you're talking about rise up, you would say inuka, and that would be to rise. It means to rise. If someone says ingia is a verb which means get in. Ingia, I think we used it yesterday. Ingia, which means get inside, get inside. So someone says ingia darasani means get inside the class, ingia darasani, and that would be get inside the class. And it shows an example of a word that starts with the Swahili vowel E, which is the English letter I. The Swahili vowel E is the English letter I. Therefore, you would say ingia, you might say inuka, or you might say igiza. Igiza means to act. Igiza, it means to act. But remember the other more examples. For example, for these are, let me just use these vowels again. E, I, O, U, E, O, U. So when I give more examples, even with different vowels, for example, the vowel O, I had said that you can say ondoka. Ondoka means to leave. Ondoka is a vowel O. The word, an example of a word that uses that vowel is O, ondoka, and therefore that would be ondoka means to leave. Ondoka simply means. If someone says ondoka, it means to leave. If someone says ogopa means to fear. So that is like to fear something. Ogopa, it means fear. If you're talking about another different vowel, for example, the vowel A. We would have words, for example, andika. Andika is a verb, and this is a verb which means to write. It means a write. Andika, it means to write. So therefore, if you're talking about some of the vowels, we're talking about some of the verbs that start with a vowel. For example, eleza. Eleza means to explain. Eleza means to explain. It means to explain. Eleza means to explain. If you're talking about a vowel, or I have said ogopa, I have said ondoka. If you're talking about the vowel U, the vowel U is the English letter U. The vowel U is the English letter U. And maybe perhaps you can have an example with uliza. I've always said that if someone has a question, tafadhali uliza. Uliza means to ask. Uliza, it is a verb. It means to ask. So if I do say tafadhali uliza, I mean please ask. Tafadhali uliza. When you say tafadhali uliza swali, it means please ask a question. Please ask a question. And it is not difficult. You just have to remember that these are the vowels, and we have examples of verbs that start with this particular vowel. For example, ongea. I've given an example of ongea. Ongea is to speak. Ongea is it means to speak. Ongea means to speak. So we would say ongea pole pole, then that would mean please speak slowly, or speak a little bit more quietly. Don't be too loud. Someone might say ongea pole pole, meaning please don't be too loud, or just try tone it down. That is the way you would say it. Then I think we have given examples for every vowel, examples of verbs that represent the different vowels. Inuka, I've said inuka is for rise. I have said ogopa is for fear, ongea is for speak, andika is for writing, anika would be for if you're trying to hang your clothes outside, you would say anika. Anika is to hang. Anika would mean like to hang the clothes outside, and it is not difficult. It is very, very easy. Apologies. I was just saying that we have those examples of words that are verbs, and these are verbs that start with the vowel sounds. These are the 5 vowels. For example, andika. For example, eleza. U, for example, in the word uliza. E, for example, in the word ingia. Ingia. If someone says ingia sasa or ingia ndani, they simply mean welcome inside. They simply would mean welcome inside, and it is not even difficult. It is very, very simple for you to understand. So once you have a grasp of the vowels, and then you know that then you do have an understanding of the most popular verbs. Then from there, what you need to understand is now the tense markers, and I've already explained to you that we have a few of those tense markers, mainly the the ta, and the na, and the li. For the li is for the past. For example, nilisoma, it is I read. Niliandika is I wrote. Niliongea is I spoke. Niliimba is I sang. Niliketi is I sat. Niliamka is I woke. So all those are some of the examples that are all very, very popular of the things that you get to do: to eat, to drink, to shower, to sleep, to work. So, for example, if it's to work, then you would say fanya kazi. Fanya kazi means to work, because kazi is work. So if you do in work, then it means you would say fanya kazi. So therefore, I would say ni, I, na is a tense marker for the present continuous. Ninafanya kazi sasa. It means I am doing work right now. I'm working right now. Sasa, we have already given examples of sasa. Sasa means right now, right now. And sasa is not to be confused with sana. Sana is different. Has a different meaning. Sana means a lot. If we do say karibu sana, it means you are much welcome. A lot, you're very welcome. If I do say karibu sasa, it means that you're welcome now, because sasa really just emphasizes the moment. It emphasizes now. It means now. So if I do say sasa, it simply means now. That is exactly what it is. It simply means now, and it is not any difficult. What you just need to do is just keep on practicing. And I always do say that practice makes perfect. Practice makes perfect. In Swahili, we have what we call methali. Methali, these are wise sayings. These are wise sayings, and these are sayings by different people from the coastal region. Mostly, these are wise sayings. And for example, you do say pole pole, mwenda pole hajikwai. Mwenda pole hajikwai means that if you move slow, then you're sure. it's slow but sure, mwenda pole hajikwai. We also do say haraka haraka haina baraka, which means hari hari has no blessings. So therefore, if you do things hurriedly, it means at the end of the day you might end up doing the wrong things, or getting the wrong outcome. That is some of the Swahili methali. If you do want a copy of the notes, the Swahili notes that also do include some of these methali, please let me know. You can write to me an email, blackhotfireafrica@gmail.com. Once again, it is blackhotfireafrica@gmail.com. And once you do so, I will be able to share with you a copy of the notes, and those notes you can always use them to continue improving on your understanding of the beautiful language of Swahili, and even be able to improve on your knowledge of the tenses, because we have said that we have three tenses, and those tenses are the past, the present, and the future that are main. But we also given other examples that I've showed. For example, the future conditional, and the future conditional is wasn't difficult. The future conditional would be nge. The syllable there for the future conditional is nge. For example, ningekula, which means I would eat. Ningelala, which means I would sleep. Ningeimba, which means I would sing. And therefore, you are able to understand that much more easier. We shall leave that into something else. Remember, we were talking about the interrogative words last time in our previous class, and we did say, for example, if you're talking about interrogative words, what you would do is have words that question. For example, nani. Nani is Nani, nani. So, for example, who told you? Who translates into nani. Therefore, you would say nani alikuambia. Who told you? Nani alikuambia. Alikuambia. The represents the third person. It is represents the pronoun for the third person, he or she. So who told you? Nani alikuambia. Nani alikuambia. So for example, if it is who called you, then that would be nani alikupigia. Nani alikupigia simu. Nani alikupigia simu. And we have done some of examples of those particular words, and these are the words that are interrogative. So if you're asking about what we do say nini, nini. What prevented you from helping him? What prevented you from helping him? Nini kilichokuzuia kutomsaidia? Nini kilichokuzuia kutomsaidia? So nini is for what? Nini is Nini, Nini. That is for what? Nini is for what? But nani is for who? Nani is Nani. Nani is for who? This is a who. So therefore, if someone was to ask you, who are you looking for? Who are you looking for? And that would be unamtafuta nani? Unamtafuta nani? Nani is for who. So therefore, unamtafuta nani? And that would be, who are you looking for? And it is not difficult. I do believe that, like I always do say, with practice, you become perfect. But when you talk about where are you going? Where translates into wapi. Where translates into wapi. So therefore, where are you going? Then that would be unaenda wapi. Unaenda wapi. Unaenda wapi simply means where are you going? Where are you going? Unaenda wapi. All umetoka wapi. Where are you coming from? Umetoka wapi is where are you coming from? Umetoka wapi. Umetoka wapi. That will be where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from? And you can respond and say, nimetoka Nairobi, which is I am from Nairobi. You can respond and say, nimetoka Dakar, which is I am from Dakar, Senegal. You might respond and say, nimetoka Mombasa, which is I am coming from Mombasa. Or you can respond and say, nimetoka Dallas. For example, if you're from Dallas, then you would say, nimetoka Dallas, which is I am from Dallas. But the question was, umetoka wapi? wapi, the WAPI, wapi in Swahili is interrogative, and it is asking where. Umetoka wapi, umetoka wapi. For example, someone will say, hujambo. Hujambo is hello. And after you say hujambo, and then you would introduce and say, jina langu ni Spikes, which is, hello, my name is Spikes. Hujambo, jina langu ni Spikes. And then go ahead to say, nimetoka Nairobi, nimetoka Nairobi, which is, I am from Nairobi. And you might ask the other person, je, wewe umetoka wapi? Je, wewe umetoka wapi? Then that would be, how about you? Where are you from? Je, wewe umetoka wapi? That would be, how about you? Where are you from? And they would respond and say, nimetoka Austin, or nimetoka Montreal, or nimetoka wherever they might be from. They might be from Montreal, they might be from Brisbane, they might be from Cologne, Germany. Whatever they might be from, they would still respond and tell you that, and they would say, nimetoka Cologne, Germany, or Ujerumani. Ujerumani, Germany in Swahili is known as Ujerumani. They would say, nimetoka Cologne, Ujerumani, which means I am from Cologne, Germany. Or they might say, nimetoka Paris, France, or Ufaransa, because in Swahili we do say Ufaransa is Swahili is Ufaransa. That is exactly how they introduce. That is exactly how they would say, if they're trying to make you understand where they are coming from. And apart from that, someone would say, nina furaha kuwa hapa siku ya leo. Someone says nina furaha, ni points to I. The na is a present continuous. So therefore, if someone says nina furaha means I am happy. And if you say nina furaha kuwa hapa, then it means I am happy to be here. Nina furaha kuwa hapa, I am happy to be here. Nina furaha kuwa hapa is I am happy to be here. Nina furaha kuwa hapa. Or they might say, nina furaha kukuona siku ya leo. Nina furaha kukuona siku ya leo. It simply means I am happy to see you today. So therefore, if someone says nina furaha kukuona siku ya leo, it simply means I am happy to see you today. And that is just a way of just getting casual and break ice and things. But yes, it is very, very important. So another word for the interrogative is how. So for how, we do say vipi. How, we do say vipi. For example, how did you get there? How did you get there? And that would be ulifika pale vipi. How did you get there? Ulifika pale vipi. Because vipi is V-I-P-I. Vipi means how. Someone is interrogating, and they just want to know how exactly did you get there, and how, what way were you able to get there. Someone would ask, ulifika pale vipi. Or ulijua vipi. How did you know? Ulijua vipi kuwa alimkosea. How did you know that they had wronged them? That is exactly how you would ask, and nothing is difficult in that regard. I always do say that the more you practice Swahili, the better you become at it. And you can also practice with your friends, you can practice with your colleagues, you can practice with your neighbors. And I do believe that if there is an interest, a common interest in learning the language, then it wouldn't take you long before you got better at the language. You just need to have common interest, with people, and maybe perhaps they want to learn with you. Maybe perhaps they want to learn because they will be traveling for work, or they will be traveling for leisure, and they have that interest in getting to learn. I always do say that there are many languages on the African continent. There are about 1,500. There are more than 1,500 languages on the continent. And what happens is that if you go to different places, go to Tanzania, you'll find so many languages, but they have embraced Swahili as a main language. If you go to Kenya, there are also like 47 different languages, but we have embraced Swahili. And that is the most important bit, because I might not know what someone is talking about. Maybe they are from the Pokot community. I personally do not know the Pokot language. Maybe they are from the Kalenjin, the Nandi. I do not know the Nandi, but we are able to communicate because we have embraced Swahili, and therefore it is very, very important that we are able to also embrace that, even regionally. Talk about Rwanda, talk about Burundi, talk about the DRC Congo. Once we are able to embrace this regionally, then it means that regional integration and cohesion is possible, and it can be possible because of the adoption of one language, which is the language that is going to connect us. and bring us together. And this language I'm talking about is Swahili, and it is one of the easiest languages. It's not very very easy, but then again there has to be a commitment to learning it. There must be a commitment to learning it, and that is how you get much better. We shall take a short break, enjoy a song, and this is Just As You Are. We shall enjoy this particular jam, and then we shall be right back. We hope that you are able with us, and and learn with us on the platform.
Woke up this morning, sun on your face. No need to rush, you're not in a race. Every little flaw, every little scar tells a story of just who you are. No filter, no disguise. You shine brighter when you don't try. Didn't see you leave your too. That's the truth in you. Just as you are, you're already enough. No need to change, no need to be tough. You were born not to be perfect, but real. Every heartbeat is something to feel. Just as you are, don't hide your light. You're a whole vibe, shining so bright. Let the world see the beautiful truth. There's no one else that can do you like you. Laugh a little louder, dance in the rain. Let go of doubt, don't carry that weight. You're not a copy, you're one of a kind. Magic in your soul, freedom in your mind. No rules you gotta keep. Be wild, be soft, be deep. Just you live your truth. That's the power in you. Just as you are, you're already enough. No need to change, no need to be tough. You were born not to be perfect, but real. Every heartbeat is something to feel. Just as you are, don't hide your light. You're a whole vibe, shining so bright. Let the world see the beautiful truth. There's no one else that can do you like you. Perfect over rain anyway. Real is what will always stay. Didn't see you leave your too. You were made to move. Just as you are. Yeah, that's your power. Bloom in your time. This is your hour. You were born not to be perfect, but real. And that's the most beautiful thing you can feel. Just as you are, don't hide your light. You're a whole vibe, shining so bright. Let the world see the beautiful truth. There's no one else that can do you like you.
Takusave na love emoji into your official name. PDA bila woga, your license ni bet. I'll buy some boxes you can share with me. Wache kuvisit tuishi nami. Kifungu mkutole kopi usizubae kwa gate. Vitungu tutone ngozi uchi ujionyeshe.
Yes, that is some wonderful music, and I always keep on saying that if you're trying to find or learn Swahili much easier, you can be able to do that by also enjoying some Swahili music. And the name of that particular jam is actually Sasa Hivi. Sasa Hivi means right now. And I was saying a bit earlier that Sasa is not to be confused with Sana, because Sasa means now. Sasa means now, but Sana simply means a lot or very. Someone says, nimeshiba sana, I'm very full, because Sana is for a lot or very. But if you say nimeshiba sasa, it would mean I am full now. I am full now. So Sasa and Sana, they are to be distinguished. And the name of jam, that particular jam, is Sasa Hivi. It means right now, right now. So you can check out Swahili music, and on YouTube, some of the songs they do have the subtitles, so you can also be able to learn a little bit of what is going on with that, simply by just following through and finding out what is going on with the language, with the music or the song that they are singing right there. So today we are learning about Swahili verbs, and we are also learning about tenses. And we have said that there are many verbs. There are many verbs that we have given examples of. The verbs of things that you do on a normal day-to-day basis. For example, wake up, it is amka. For example, sleep, it is lala. For example, keti, it is sit down. For example, inuka, it is rise up. For example, drink, we do say kunywa. Eat, we do say kula. If we're talking about go, we do say ondoka or leave. If you're talking about arrive, we do say wasili. If you're talking about maybe perhaps clean, we do say safisha. S-A-F-I-S-H-A, safisha. And if you're talking about make dirty, you do say chafua. So those are some of the verbs that will come up in a normal day-to-day conversation. If you're talking about go to the washroom, we do say nenda msalani. If you're talking about to cook, we do say pika, P-I-K-A, pika. And we have also now distinguished that when talking about the past tense, we do use the tense marker li. For example, nilipika, it means I did cook, I cooked, nilipika. If you say nilikula, then that would be I ate. If you do say niliosha, then that means I cleaned, or nilisafisha, that would mean I cleaned, If you're talking about safisha vyombo, then that would be clean the utensils. If you're talking about safisha nyumba, then that would be cleaning the house. If you're talking about osha nguo or safisha nguo, then that would mean cleaning the clothes, So niliosha nguo, then that means I cleaned the clothes. Nilifagia nyumba, then that means I cleaned the house. So those are some of the things that are the words that come up in a normal day-to-day conversation. And we do say that if it's for the past tense, the tense marker is li. Nilikula chakula, nilikunywa maji, nilikunywa chai, nilikunywa kahawa. Kunywa kahawa means to take coffee, to drink coffee. So therefore, if you say nilikunywa kahawa, that would mean I drank coffee. If you do say nilikunywa uji, that would mean I had some uji, or had some porridge, and that is just the way it is. So it isn't difficult. When it comes to the future tense, once again for the future tense, we would say ta, nitakunywa chai, then that would be I will drink some tea. Nitakunywa kahawa, then that would mean I will drink some coffee. Nitapika chakula, then that would mean I'll cook some food. Nitaenda sokoni, then that would mean I will go to the market. Nita, the ni is for I, the ta is for the future. And therefore, if you are talking about even reading, you would say nitasoma kitabu. Nitasoma kitabu. That would be ni, and the tense marker is ta, and then soma is for the root verb. So therefore, I will read. I will read. If you're talking about a good book, you would say nitasoma kitabu kizuri. Nitasoma kitabu kizuri. And that will mean I will read a good book. Nitasoma kitabu kizuri sana. That will mean I will read a very good book. I will read a very good book. If you do have a question, you can ask. You would say nitauliza swali. Nitauliza. Uliza, it means to ask. So if you say nitauliza, ni ta, the tense marker is ta for the future. Then uliza, nitauliza swali. And that will be I will ask a question. I will ask a question. Then that will be I will ask a question. happens to be nitauliza swali. Nitauliza swali, that means I will ask a question. I will ask a question, and it is not difficult. Let me just type it. I will ask a question. Nitauliza swali. And there are many types of questions you can ask. You might ask swali ngumu. Swali ngumu means a hard question. Swali rahisi, it means an easy question. So if I were to ask a hard question, I would say nitauliza swali ngumu. If I were to ask an easy question, I would say nitauliza swali rahisi. Nitauliza swali rahisi. I remember we can say nitauliza swali sasa. That will mean I will ask a question right now. Sasa means now. I will ask a question now. When you say sasa hivi, I would mean right now. And it is not any difficult. It is actually very, very easy. Remember to check us out on the official network website. It's www.blackhotfirenetwork.com. Yesterday, Keith was able to do a show, and we also did have a class yesterday. We're hoping that you shall also be able to join us next week, even as we proceed with these classes on Saturdays and Sundays. The official network website, there is a social media on it, which is a Blackhotfire Network social. Once you are on this page, you can be able to connect with like-minded individuals. We do say iron sharpens iron, and when you are on this particular network, you can connect with the rest of the family right here, and you can also share with us what's on your mind, because you can tell us what's going on, what's on your mind, and we would be able to see what's going on with that. For example, this was a post about Cosby and the effect that he had in transforming the HBC, the historically Black colleges landscape. There's also, something else about the financial architecture and how it affects Africa, and so many other things that you can see here. And you can always feel free to share with us your mind on what is happening with this and that. And it is very, very important that you sign up on the network, and also you come up to here, visit the social, and once you are on there, you can connect with the rest of the family on the Blackhotfire network through that particular page. It is not complicated. It is actually very, very easy. And once you are there, you will be able to see what I am talking about. So we invite you. We would say tumekualika. That is the word for inviting. Tumekualika kwenye ukurasa wetu. Ukurasa is a page. So we invite you on that particular page to come out and check out what's good with us and see how it is going down, because it is very, very important that you also get to join us there. Ni muhimu sana. If someone says sana, it means a lot. Ni muhimu sana. Muhimu is important. Muhimu means important. Muhimu means important. Important. So someone says ni muhimu sana. Ni muhimu sana. Ni, let me just put it down. Ni muhimu sana. It means it is very important. It's very important. I would say ni muhimu sana kujifunza Kiswahili. It is very important for us to learn, and for us to learn the Swahili, it is very, very important for us to do so. And pamoja, if we say ni muhimu sana kujifunza Swahili pamoja, it means it is very important for us to learn Swahili together right here on this particular platform, which is a Blackhotfire Network. For now, I want to take questions. If anyone has a question, I will be more than glad and happy to take your questions. If anyone has a question, please let me know. I will be glad to respond to your question in regard to any question that you might have that has to do with our learning of our Swahili in terms of the present tense, the future tense, and also the past tense, and how the tense markers get to affect the verb. Because we would say nitakula, which means I will eat; nilikula, which means I ate; ninakula, which means I am eating; mi hukula, mimi hukula means I do eat. So therefore, you would see that is a habitual one. And ningekula, which means I would eat. So therefore, those are all forms of verbs, and how you get to represent them. And they are not any difficult. They are actually very, very easy to comprehend and understand. And that is therefore, that is why I do urge. That is why I do urge you to also get involved in terms of practicing the language, and practicing it very, very often, because in time you are able to improve. So if anyone has a question, kama kuna hali na swali, tafadhali uliza. If anyone has a question, please ask. If anyone has a question, please ask. I will be more than glad to respond to your question. Therefore, please make sure that you ask. and it is important that you do get to ask so that I can respond to your question, and that you can be able to get an answer right here. If not, we shall pick up our class for next Saturday right here on this same platform. So feel free to connect with us next weekend, and also feel free to ask any questions or any observations that you get to make right here on this particular platform. I shall leave you with a wonderful jam. It is known as Kama Hivi. Kama Hivi is actually jamming. It's a song that you can even dance to. Kama Hivi is a wonderful, wonderful song. You can actually jam to this particular one. And, it's a song with a vibe. So let me play it for you as you wind up. If anyone has a question, please ask. I haven't finished yet. If anyone has a question, tafadhali Lisa, so they can get to answer you, even as you get to jump to this particular one, which is known as Kama Hivi.
Nimeamka na tabasamu, moyo wangu uko sawa. Leo natembea kama maji bila pawa. Viatu chini, uchumi juu, nahitaji tu furaha. Nikipiga step pole pole, kila shida inatoweka. Acha niende mawimbi yanishike, niko fresh, niko feel, usiku nishike. Nisukume kidogo, nikeze mpaka mwisho, mikono hewani, tunaishi leo. Cheza kama hivi, maisha level yangu, sina stress mimi. Cheza kama hivi, naruka nacheza najibamba mimi. Toka juu hadi chini, toka juu hadi chini. Cheza kama hivi, maisha level yangu, sina stress mimi. Moyo wangu haukimbii, na uacha ufuate bite. Nikikanyaga pole pole, nafika bila takatifu. Mtaa unaniona leo, nikiwa na nuru usoni. Kuna raha ndani yangu, inachemka kama maji. Acha niende mawimbi yanishike, niko fresh, niko huyu, usiku nishike. Nisukume kidogo, nicheze mpaka mwisho, mikono hewani, tunaishi leo. Cheza kama hivi, maisha level yangu, sina stress mimi. Cheza kama hivi, naruka nacheza najibamba mimi. Toka juu hadi chini, toka juu hadi chini. Cheza kama hivi, maisha level yangu, sina stress mimi. Leo sipimi, kesho ninavuta pumzi moya. Mapenzi ya kawaida yanateka bila hoja. Kama unanisoma, ndio karibu taratibu. Tule furaha pamoja, bila pressure, bila tabu. Cheza kama hivi, maisha level yangu, sina stress mimi. Cheza kama hivi, naruka nacheza najibamba mimi. Toka juu hadi chini, toka juu hadi chini. Cheza kama hivi, maisha level yangu, sina stress mimi.
Yes, that is a wonderful, wonderful song. It's known as Cheza Kama Hivi, and Cheza Kama Hivi simply means play like this. So if anyone is telling you, let's move like this, or let's dance to the beat like this, that is exactly what the name of the song means. Kama Hivi means like this. So if someone says Cheza Kama Hivi, they simply means let's dance like this. And it is actually a wonderful, wonderful vibe right there. So I will actually bid you kwaheri, which is what we do say when we're talking about goodbye. But remember to join us next week, which is on Saturday and Sunday. And it would actually be a good thing if you joined, and also invited a friend to join us as well, because we do say the more the merrier. So if you are as more as a family here, then it will become quite wonderful if we learned the Swahili language together as a family. If anyone has a question, please ask. If not, we shall wind up there, and next week we shall be learning about the adjectives and also becoming better in our understanding of our Swahili grammar. so that we can get to move from one notch and take it to another notch higher in terms of how we understand and how we communicate in this beautiful language of Swahili. So once again, much peace and love. I would say amani na upendo. Amani na upendo simply means peace and love. The syllable na can also be used to represent and. So if you do say chai na mkate, you do mean tea and bread. If you do say simu na tarakilishi, then that would mean a phone and a computer. If you did say kahawa na mandazi, then that would mean coffee and dazi. So whatever you do say after and is mostly is a connector, and you can say this and that, hili na lile, and the na is for and, this and that, when it comes to communicating in your Swahili. So we shall end it there. I want to wish you happy and a productive rest of the week ahead. And I do hope that you are also able to engage with us on our social media, and also, the Blackhotfire Network on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever these social medias are. You can find us there, and also, of course, on this YouTube channel. Thank you so much. If you haven't turned on the notifications, please make sure that you turn on the notifications so that we are able to connect and be on the same page and at par, even through the social media platform. So now I want to wish you a happy and a productive week. Whatever you do, approach it with utmost positivity and enthusiasm, because it do say positive mind gives positive results. Positive thinking gives positive results, and positive thinking, you cannot have a positive life with a negative thinking. It doesn't happen. It cannot work like that. So whatever your endeavors are, please approach them with utmost positivity and enthusiasm. Till next time, much peace and love. I want to say kwaheri. Take care of yourselves and have a wonderful one ahead.